Okay, now we will learn about drawing a project network or drawing a project network. So we have taken an example that say there are 10 activities A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. There are 10 activities and the predecessors are given. This table gives you the activity, their predecessors and the duration in days. So activity A and B does not have any predecessor. Activity C, D and E has predecessor A. All three activities are predecessor A. F's predecessor is C, G's predecessor is D, H's predecessor are B and E, I's predecessor is H, and J's predecessor are F, G and I. So and the duration is given. Now initially we do not require the durations. Here we will be learning how to draw the graphs, how to draw the network. And as I've said earlier that we cannot assume anything. So whatever is given, with that information we have to draw the graph. So from this we will try to write down the immediate successors. So as I've said earlier, how to find out the successor to repeat itself. I'll check in the immediate predecessor column for successor A. I'll check in the immediate predecessor column where I have for that activity. If I can find A is if here I can find that A is predecessor of C, that means A is predecessor of C, that means C is successor of A. So also D is predecessor is A, so that means D is successor of A. So successor of A we can write as C comma D. Then again similarly we can find where I can find B. So B is in H. C's successor is F. D successor is G. C successor is F. D successor is G. So here it's just changing. So E successor is again H. F successor is J. G successor is again J. It's just deviating a little bit, I think. H successor. So where is H? Yes, H successor is I. I successor is I successor is J, and J does not have any successor. So from this table we can see. So as I have said earlier that the activity or activities which do not have any predecessor are or is the starting activity. So here A and B are the starting activities, and that particular activity which does not have any successor is the end activity. So here that decision can be found out that A and B are my starting activities and J is my end activity. So let's try to draw the graph. So first we'll start with a node, and from that node both A and B can start simultaneously. So A and B start simultaneously, and as you can see, A's successors are C and D. So from A we can draw C and D. So I have already drawn A, B, C and D. So C, D and E also. Yes, E also, because A is here Yes, there was a mistake over there. So A successors were C, D and E. So I have missed E over here. So C, D, comma E should be there. Should be there. So F's predecessor is C, so that means after C there will be F. After C there will be F. So I have already. G's predecessor is D, so after D there will be G. OH predecessors are B and E. So see B is coming from a different node and E is coming from a different node. So they are joined, and from there we can draw H, and then H is from I. So after H this is I, and F, G and I are coming from three different nodes, so they can join. So let's draw like this, and after F, G and I there is G. So the network is like this. So we have drawn all A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Now let's check the precedence successor relationship from the table. A does not have any predecessor. Successor is C, D, and E. A no predecessor. Successors are C, D, and E. B no predecessor. Successor is H. B no predecessor. Successor is H. C's predecessor is A. Successor is F. C's predecessor is A, successor is F, sign. D's predecessor is A, successor is G. D's predecessor is A, successor is G. E's predecessor is A, successor H. E's predecessor is A, successor H, fine. Then C, D, E, after that F. F's predecessor is C, successor is J. F's predecessor is C, successor is J. G, where is G? G's predecessor is D and successor is J. G's predecessor is D and successor is J, fine. Then H's predecessors are B and E and successor is I. H's predecessors see in the table, it also shows B and E and successor is I, fine. I's predecessor is H and successor is J. I's predecessor is H and successor is J. And finally we have J's predecessors F, G and I, and there is no successor. So J's predecessors are F, G and I, and there is no successor. So that completes the relationship, that shows the relationship correctly. So now we'll number the nodes. As I've said, we can start numbering the nodes, and the only thing we have to remember that the number in the arrowhead must be greater than the number in the arrow tail. So here this is 1, this must be 2 because there is an arrowhead over there, so it has to be 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So as you can see, this 4, 5, 6 does not have any, so it can be anywhere. So this could be 4, this could be 5. You can interchange 4, 5, 6 any way you like, but you cannot change 1, 2, 3, 7. This has to be 7 and this has to be 4, 5, 6 can be interchanged. So this is the corresponding graph. So this is the first example to draw, and this is how we draw the graph. This needs some practice, and then you can after some practice you can make the drawing correct. So please do some practicing, and the duration in days we'll be using it later when we calculate the critical path and other things. Now we have another example over here. and we will also show you how to draw the graph for this particular example. So again, we have taken 10 activities A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and the predecessors are given this way, and also the durations are given, and from the predecessor we will calculate the successor, and then we'll try to draw the graph. So let's do that. So we'll write down the successors. So again, similarly, so for A successor, we'll check the immediate predecessor column where A appears. So A appears for E. A appears for E, that means A successor is E. Then for B, we see D and F, or D and F and H also. So B appears for D, F and H. So B, D, F and H. C's successor is, G's predecessors are C and D. So C's successor is G. D successor is again G. D successor is again G. E successor is H. E successor is H. F successor is I. G successor is again I. G successor is again I. H successor is J. H successor is J, and I does not appear here, so I do not have any successor, and J does not appear here, so that means J also do not have any successor. J do not have any successor. So that means here what we have is, we have 3 activities which are the starting activities A, B, C, and here we have 2 activities I and J which do not have any successor. That means they are the end activities. So let's try to draw. Now here again, one thing here is to be noted, that as you can see that let's try this. So from the first single node, 3 activities A, B and C starts. So A, B, C I have drawn, so I'm just putting a tick on it. Then D is from B. D is from B. E is from A. So D is from B, E is from A, F is from again B, so this is F is from B. Now C and D, okay. So we have drawn. Now there is a complicacy over here. So as you can see, B and E here, G is obtained through C and D. So if we have drawn the D this way, so this could have been okay. If we have drawn this way D, say I'm cancelling this part, just trying to avoid. So C and D, from C and D we can start G, fine. Now H is from B and D. So B here, B and D, yes. Sorry, B and E. So B here, E here. Yes, now there is a confusion over here. So here, as you can see, B is B is something where both D and F are the successors. So both D and F are successors of B. Again, H is also successor of E. Here there is some confusion. So let's draw like this. Let's draw fresh. So here A, then B, then C, so B is predecessor of D, and from from A we can draw E. So this is E is drawn. F is also from B. So this is D. This is say F. So we have drawn A, B, C, D, E, F. We have now G. G is from C and D. Fine. So G is from C. Now H. Here is the confusion. So H predecessors are B and E. Now if B and E, if I put it here, if I put the arrow over here, B and E, and here if I try to draw, then there will be some problem, because here only it says that F and D's predecessor is only B but not E. Now, but if I put E over here, then that will also imply that both E and B are predecessors of F and D. So that should not happen. We cannot assume that, and to get rid of that confusion we need to add a dummy over here. So we have already talked about the dummy activity. So here we need to put a dummy like this. Through this dummy D1, B goes to E, B meets with E, and by this dummy B meets with E, and from there H can be started. So that's the H part. So F and G meets together. From F and G we will get I, and from H we will get J, and I and J meets together, and that is the ending node. And that completes all the activities. So we have put it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I and J. And so this is a single node where it is ending, and this is a single node where it is starting. So that more or less I think is the right. So let's check the precedence succedence relationship. So from the network graph we'll check with, and then we'll meet. So here A is, for A there is no predecessor, successor is E. So A, no predecessor, successor is E, fine. B, no predecessor, successor is D, successors are D, F, and through this dummy is H, D, F and H, fine. Then C's predecessor is no, successor is G, C's successor is G. Then D's predecessor is B and successor is G, D's predecessor is B, successor is G, fine. Then E's predecessor is A, E's predecessor is A, successor is H, E's predecessor is A, successor is H, fine. F's predecessor is B and successor is I, F's predecessor is B, successor is I, fine. G's predecessors are C and D and successor is I, G's predecessor is C and D and successor is O. There was some mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so Where is G's predecessor is right. I think this one is here. Again check. D because of yes, that is the case. I could not make it a straight line, that's why it is happening. So yes, G's predecessors are C and D and success is I. G's predecessors are C and D and success is I. F G H. H predecessors are B and E. Through this dummy, both B and E are there and success is J. A's predecessors are B and E and success is J. Fine. I's predecessors are F and G and there is no successor. I's predecessors are F and G and there is no successor. And finally J's predecessor is H and there is no successor. So that is right. So all the activities and their relationships are same, right? Whatever was given, nothing is being assumed. And here is the importance of dummy activity. As we have said earlier, the dummy activity does not consume any resource or any time. So dummy activity, here it must be having a dummy activity, otherwise this logic could not be kept right. So dummy activity, as I said, is required when it is absolutely necessary. Here it is absolute necessary. Without this dummy we cannot get the correct graph. Now the last thing that remains is to put the numbering. So we'll put the number. So we'll start with 1, then let's make this 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So remember that number in the arrowhead must be greater than the number in the arrow tail. So that completes the graph part, drawing the graph. As I've already said that you need to practice a little bit more for understanding. So I'll give you some exercises for practicing and then we'll be using the duration for the calculation of critical path.